What's up, y'all? Let's watch some YouTube. Let's see what's going on. This video says Korean bed factory that makes mattresses like soft cakes or something. No, I did not just pick my nose. I was like, I can't scratch the side without pushing the nose ring in, so I kind of have to do something weird. Let's see what to watch, though. Let's see. Commercials. So many commercials.
This is a very prominent place
cool.
to paint.
Dope. I'm just kidding, I'm not about to.
Hello guys, my name is Doke and I know that you
Man, back in the day, in like around like
so
2005 to like
right
2010,
question number
there
one.
was so much
Where
taggers
am I painting today?
Like,
I'm painting in Bratislava, in city part called Petržalka, the biggest hood in the country.
That's probably
question
about
number two.
280
what
meters
is the
up.
story behind this wall? Well, this object was a part of another Projekt Ihrisko project. These guys love to paint old playgrounds, and you might remember them from some of my videos. They were painting here in the summer, they had a very good time, and I couldn't join them. The great thing though is that they actually saved this spot for me. Question number three, is this a commission or what it is? Nope, this is not a commission. I am not paid to do this, and I can paint whatever I want on this wall. Question number four. What is the problem? Why I might regret painting of this mural? Well, do you see that building over there? A lot of people are afraid of this building. They are afraid of the institution inside. And the institution is tax office.
What kind of building is that? It's like half a building. It's not even a full building.
Tax office. This is not a problem
what would you
at all,
even call that shape?
right? Just a government institution. I have a permission. What might go wrong? Well, the design. I'm not entirely sure if the people from the tax office will appreciate it, but I guess there is only one way to find out. You gotta paint it, so let's go.
The other day I saw this dude using
I hope I'm gonna get
an
at
automatic
some sunlight
roller
during the day.
I guess it's to like so you don't
it's
have to keep going
already
down
1 o'clock, so
and like painting a
we'll see.
like to dip the paint in the
I
roller.
start my preparation for murals like this with a research. First of all, environmental research. I visit the place and I look around. What is this place? What is the infrastructure around? What buildings are around the wall? What is the color of the buildings? This is very important. I like to match the colors of the mural with the surroundings because it always looks nice. But in this case, this wall is a part of Projekt Ihrisko, right? So I'll basically just try to match their color scheme. And when I'm done with this technical research, I start to think about the subject that I want to paint here, the story that I want to share. It might be connected to the building or to someone who lives nearby or lived nearby or whatever. Whatever fits to the wall. In this case,
connected some of the dots.
It's kind of obvious. We talked about it already.
I guess it's more or less
working
trying to
on
like
a ladder like this, especially this height, it's
how
not
much room he
ideal.
was gonna need.
I
Like
can't
each
really
point
see
represented like a corner of the picture
what I'm doing.
or an angle you
see
have
it
to hit.
from this angle, which is not ideal.
Can you tell that is look like Robin Williams?
The first lines are done. It looks like this. And there were two guys here and they actually notified me about a very interesting fact. Tax office, right? This right here, the Supreme Court. It doesn't look like it, but it is the Supreme Court of Slovakia. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow.
Alright, it's already almost 1 o'clock because I had to do my color scheme preparation.
Like $400 worth of paint. These are bottles like $25. tripping, stepping in the paint while it's dripping. Touching my toes and I ain't slipping. Pause. Send it right back, man. I'm losing my jaw. Taking right down. I fucked the ball.
What's wrong with you?
Sounds weird. Maybe not freestyle anymore.
Huh? Видите?
They already got questions. Who's your sponsor
Ja
for your spray
sám.
can?
Hej. Ja si to točím na YouTube a zdieľam to so svetom a tak zarábam.
Shit, the world.
I changed my mind. Originally, this guy over here, it was just some random dude. But considering the fact that the Supreme Court is right there, I decided to turn this guy into a judge. He should look something like this. I don't know much about judges,
He
but
just freehands his stuff? That's crazy. So he was using
it's
an
me
image.
again. I just got another commentary
I've seen
on
him
the
do some
mural.
crazy stuff before. Like, he
These
does some
guys
pretty cool shit.
who are walking around, they thought it's Lenin. If you don't know who Lenin was, Google it. I just told them it's not Lenin. Definitely not
Let's
Lenin.
move it on a
And
little
they
bit. Let's see what else.
each other say the same thing. It's true.
Look at the colors. Commercials.
I just wanted to show you the USCCA's
Nobody
free
cares,
concealed carry
man.
reciprocity and gun laws map. As a
Tom
defense
Green.
attorney and former state prosecutor, I can promise you,
You gotta take him
that
serious.
not
You know he
knowing
doesn't
the
have any hair.
One. But I also explained that
stressed he
it's
is.
supposed to be a judge who is having trouble with his taxes. And the man, I'm not sure if he liked it or not. He was
Yeah,
like
what is it, like
neutral.
7 different
about
colors just
that.
in the
So
eye?
yeah, I hope they're gonna like it.
Drone shot. What is he gonna do next? Is it raining or something? Let's see what it's gonna look like.
So when they read it, it's clear what's going on.
Scripts. Man, that's pretty sick. Dope. Check him out on YouTube. It's pretty sick. Let's see what else is going on. Mr. Beast. It's been 24 hours. Mr. Beast. How long is the video? 38 minutes. Man, let's not do that. Let's go a little bit further. Let's see if we can get out of the painting
Alright.
algorithm.
This was a very interesting painting, and I hope
We grind
that
free
people
with ads. Oh shit, what do I got this? Bachelor matches, I guess. Is that Alicia Keys? I want to play that song, but I think I'll get a ban on that. I don't want to get any flags. What? Don't ask me what I was talking about. The most expensive shit. Pure gold bars. I don't know what to watch. Let's go back to. I don't even know what that is. I thought it was Susu. Let's keep going. Some Paramore. Nobody call me. Let's watch this.
All I wanna do is get back to what I do best. Back to what I'm good at. Back to where I wanna be.
Rocking a set in front of your fans is one of the best parts of making it in the rap game. But sometimes, shows get a little crazy. And these days, if you slip up on stage, there's gonna be tons of videos posted online for everyone to see. So today, we're
I
breaking
gotta
down
be
the
honest,
biggest
like
rappers in the world.
rock shows,
who got
like shit like that don't
embarrassed
go on,
stage.
man. We'll catch you, bro.
6ix9ine has way
Gonna
less
risk your
fans
life.
after he became the biggest rat in hip hop. Back in 2018,
I would not catch
he was
6ix9ine.
popping
I
off
would
like
let him
crazy
bust his
and
ass.
rocking sold-out shows. But that didn't stop fans from letting him hit the floor when he tried to stage dive.
Like,
A viral video started
America's
going around
Sucks number
that showed
one.
6ix9ine taking a huge jump off
What is
the
he
stage
doing?
towards a group of girls. He told Revolt he didn't
Man,
even
he
look
has-
where he was
I
jumping.
could not
and the
be
girls
his
ran out of
hype
the
man
way as soon as they saw
if
him
he was
coming.
just out there
I
like
just let
that.
myself like a trustful, but like a high trustful. So I went, and all the girls just mid-air, I see them just move. I just let God take it from there.
6ix9ine airballed himself straight to the ground. And he says that it hurt so bad, he thought he was paralyzed. Then the next day, he dove at a different show. And
The
hit
first time I
floor
watched that
again.
video, I was
Taking
tripping
falls
balls.
isn't
I gotta
great,
be honest.
But these
That
days,
shit, I was
6ix9ine's more
nah.
likely to get jumped if he hops in
I was
the
trying to
crowd.
turn the fucking laptop off.
Drake
'cause
is one of the biggest artists
I
in
just
the
saw
world.
like all these
but that hasn't
bubbly
stopped
shit
him
coming
from
out.
getting
It was,
embarrassed
I
on
don't know. I was
stage.
tripping balls.
Back in
Let's just say
2009,
that.
Drake decided to perform on the America's Most Wanted tour,
Derp.
even though he already had a torn ACL. He went on stage with Wayne, and the plan was to just do a
He
few
went on
songs and dip.
stage.
But in the middle of the show, Drake's knee went out, and he hit
Oh,
the
he
floor.
ain't shit.
Some of his crew came out and helped him limp off stage. Then Wayne started cracking jokes about it. He said, "This nigga really got a bad leg. I thought this shit was only on his TV show."
Oh,
Luckily,
nah.
Drake made a full recovery.
They making
But
fun
in
of
2020,
Degrassi.
He allegedly injured
In
the same
Degrassi, he was
knee
on a
He was
wheelchair.
trying to guard Steph
'cause
Curry.
He got shot.
Footage
in
came
the
out
show.
showing Drake and Steph shooting around in the offseason.
What was his? I
Then a
forgot his
couple months
name
later,
on Degrassi. I
Drake
think
posted
it was
photos
like
of himself in a leg brace.
Jordan or something
Rumors
like
were
that.
flying that it happened while Drake was trying to guard Steph. And when a reporter asked him about it,
Oh,
Steph just
shit, I
laughed
thought he
and
was putting
said,
the beer
"Maybe
on
Drake will
Curry's
talk
head,
about it on
dude.
his new album." In 2019,
I would have smacked
Drake
that
had an
shit.
even more embarrassing
Fucking
moment on stage.
3-pointed his
Tyler, the
fucking little
creator, was
bitch.
hosting his annual Camp Flog Gnaw Festival, and the co-headliner's name was a mystery.
Don't tell me somebody
Fans
didn't
thought Frank
catch
Ocean was
Tyler,
gonna show
bro.
up as a surprise. But when Drake turned out to be the special guest, the crowd ended up
Where's all
booing
the
him on
fellas at,
stage.
man? I thought they were gonna show
When
more
Drake
videos.
came out instead of Frank, the Flog Gnaw crowd wasn't rocking with him at all. Drake performed a few songs, but when the crowd started booing, he asked him if he should keep going.
You know,
Oh, people are booing.
I'm gonna tell you. Like I said, I'm here for you tonight. If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up?
Frank!
If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight.
He's gonna stay.
It's been love. I love y'all. I go by the name of Drake. Thank you for having me.
A few people clapped and cheered, but others was telling him to get off the stage. At that point, Drake knew
That's
he couldn't
fucked
save the
up.
show, so he just left.
I mean, he
Tyler,
still
the
got the
creator,
check,
hopped on Twitter
you know?
to let his fans know how disappointed he was with them. But Drake didn't seem too pressed about the situation. It's wild to see a superstar get booed off the stage, but it just shows that Frank Ocean fans are on a different level of loyalty. Rod Wave is one of the hottest new artists in the game, but a couple years ago, he had a crazy, embarrassing situation go down at one of his shows. He walked out on stage with his crew at Morris Brown College in Atlanta, but the floor couldn't handle the weight, and an entire section of the stage collapsed. A bunch of Rod Wave's homies fell into the hole, and he stumbled away and fell on his back. Nobody was seriously hurt, but Rod still canceled the show and dipped. It's hard to rock a set after everyone sees you and your crew destroy the stage. And 2 years later, people are still making memes about the situation. It was an embarrassing moment,
up.
but Wave just rolled with the punches. After it happened, he up on IG and wrote, "Pimp down. I repeat, pimp down." Rod is still at the top of the game after dropping his 4th album back in August.
I
But
listened to some of
hopefully,
his songs-
he doesn't
some
bring
of
as
his
many
songs.
people with him on the next tour. Back in
Pretty good at that,
2017, Chief Keef was touring all over the US. At the show in Grand Rapids, Michigan, he got a little too lit on stage and almost fell straight to the floor. Keef was rapping at the front of the stage, tried to hop from one speaker to another, but he slipped up and fell completely off.
Nah,
Luckily,
they caught him.
security was right there to help him land on his feet, and Keith just rolled with it and started rapping right in the crowd's face. It could have been an embarrassing viral moment, but the crowd got even more hype with Sosa right in front of him. It's still funny to see a dude spin around and slip off the stage, but Keith made the fall super smooth. Sosa isn't the only rapper who got taken out by a speaker. In June, Kevin Gates was performing at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum when he slipped up and fell down in front of the whole venue. Gates was in the middle of his track, I Don't Get Tired, when he stepped back and tripped over a speaker. He landed on his back, but didn't let it slow him up though. Gates popped right back up like nothing happened and ripped his shirt off to distract everyone from what just went down. The trick worked too.
Chill.
Women in the crowd started going nuts when he took the shirt off. Then he rocked the rest of the set without embarrassing himself anymore. Gates didn't talk about what happened, but obviously
you still
he
got
wasn't
the
too
check,
pressed
like, why
about
would you
it
even
because after
care,
the
you know,
show, he tweeted,
There's something else to
"Mississippi,
it.
I love you." That wasn't the only time Gates embarrassed himself in front of thousands of people. A couple weeks ago, he was performing in Florida and took a hard fall when he slipped on his own sweat. He tried to run up to the front of the stage in the middle of a song, and that's when he slipped and fell right on his back again. Luckily, he didn't fall completely off the stage, but Gates definitely needs to be more careful on stage. For a minute back in 2016, Designer was one of the hottest rappers in the world. His track Panda blew up and hit #1 on the Hot 100, and you couldn't go anywhere without hearing it. But while he was at the top of the game, Designer had a gross and embarrassing situation on stage. He was performing a sold-out show in New York and was hotter than ever after signing a deal with Good Music. But while he was rapping Panda, Designer went too hard and ended up puking all over the stage. It was a wild moment, but Designer just went right back to the set like nothing even happened. Booting and rallying is normal for college kids who get too lit at parties, but it's not something you usually see happen on stage.
Put a little Hendrix in your holidays.
Busta Rhymes is a legend in the rap game, but even being a respected OG won't stop you from getting embarrassed on stage. Back in 2014, he popped up at his homie OT Genesis show in New York. In the middle of the set, Busta fell off stage and landed straight on his head. OT was performing his hit track Coco, and everyone on stage was lit. Busta was up there with a cigar and bottle. Then he started headbanging so crazy, he slipped up and took a nosedive. Security jumped in to keep the crowd back, and Busta tried to climb back on stage, but he was so woozy from knocking himself out.
To do it. Ratings were kind of low, but the show was officially over.
We gotta talk about
However, he knew how powerful perception was. If he looked and acted like a hotshot, people would think that's who he was. 2000 to 2002, Rob was at the peak of his skateboarding career. He was 27 years old, already pretty rich, and focusing hard on competitions and video parts to keep his relevance so he could sell more shoes. 2002 is where he met Christopher Big Black Boykin, which would change his life forever. DC was working on their first major skate video set to release in 2003, and they were going to go on a countrywide tour to promote the video. Rob knew he wasn't as good of a skater as the others on the team, so he had to think out of the box to make his part memorable and valuable to the video. He came up with a skit. The concept was, Rob was fed up with security and cops kicking him out of skate spots while he was trying to film for his part. He decided he was going to hire a private security guard to deal with other security guards. He went to the first security company he could find, City Events in Pacific Beach, and asked them for the biggest but friendliest guy they had. Immediately, the owner thought of somebody perfect for the position, and that was Christopher Big Black Boykin.
I have many different things I do as far as your security.
He basically
make
made
sure
the show
Rob
funny,
skates.
you know? Like, cause he was kind of like,
dirty work.
like he didn't really
The reactions of security guards were hilarious because they would come out ready to fight and bully Rob. Then when Big pulled up, they got all soft and scared. They created a genius gimmick that really resonated with the skate community because everyone could relate to it. It also helped that Big Black was a funny, charismatic guy that had a lot of chemistry with Rob. After the first day of working together, they would become friends which would last a lifetime. Rob and Big Black were inseparable. They were now doing everything together. One thing I should mention is that Big already had a very successful security business of his own for about 10 years at this point. He wasn't just relying on Rob for money. Part of Rob's celebrity baller image now included having a private security guard, again making him seem way more important than he technically was at the time. In the spring of 2004, DC paid for Rob to participate in the Gumball 3000. This is a 7-day long, 3,000-mile race across Europe on public roads with big parties every night that started in 1999 as a showcase for exotic cars, fashion, and the entertainment industry. Celebrities of all kinds participate in the event, so of course, Rob has to do what all the celebrities are doing. A young movie producer named Ruben Fleischer was making a documentary about the event. He reached out to as many celebrities as he could to film their experiences. On his journey, he ran into Rob and Big Black. Their chemistry was great together, and he knew he needed to document it. Gumball 3000, 6 Days in May, was the documentary that was made by Ruben Fleischer. Rob and Big Black's involvement in the film consisted of Rob bringing that exciting and fun energy, while Big Black complements his smooth, charismatic humor. Two very unlikely best friends driving across Europe. Rob was driving recklessly, Chris mooning other drivers out the window, dodging police officers. Their part in this film feels like an episode of Rob and Big. During this trip, Ruben said to them, "Y'all should consider doing a TV show together," but they didn't think it was a good idea. By the way, make sure you're drinking water while you're watching this video. Ruben had a job back in Hollywood, so he was a little bit connected. He showed the Gumball 3000 film to Jeff Tremaine, who had worked for Big Brother magazine in the 90s, sold Jackass and Wild Boys to MTV, while also keeping his presence in the skateboard world. He was familiar with Rob, he He was familiar with his DC part with Big, and he loved their energy in the Gumball film. Ruben said, we should come up with an idea for a TV show, and Jeff thought, why didn't I think of that? Again, Rob was reluctant to try to come up with a TV show because of his other business endeavors, but he isn't the type to turn down an opportunity. He took the idea for Robin Big Black, which was the original name of the show, to MTV, and they hated it. It was supposed to be a silly buddy comedy about two unlikely best friends. At this time, MTV wanted scripted reality TV that they could control and manufacture to guarantee success. Instead, they came up with a show called Rob Dyrdek's Rules for Success. The first rule of success is always keep a good guy around you like Big Black. It was supposed to be a positive and motivational show that would have failed miserably. While filming the first episode, Big Black went off script and started telling Rob that he could beat him in a foot race. The hilarious conversation and eventual foot race down the street ended up being the most entertaining part of the episode. After MTV saw this, they decided, okay, no more scripts. Just be yourselves, be funny, we trust you. This eventually came down to MTV agreeing on Rob's original vision for the show. You will notice this is the first time MTV kind of gave up a little bit of power and control to Rob, which would become a reoccurring theme throughout their relationship. Before the show came out on MTV, Rob knew he had a huge opportunity to level up his business ventures. Bam Margera's MTV show Viva La Bam was super popular along with Jackass, and he was selling merchandise and Bam branded products like crazy because of the platform that he had. He was selling triple the amount of skateboards per month than Tony Hawk. Rob, also being from the skateboard world, had been studying what Bam was doing for many years. He knew that if his show took off, he needed to be ready to capitalize in the right way. So Rob restructured his business deals to take lower upfront pay and have higher percentage royalties.
So I did a deal with DC, renegotiated for a higher royalty. I restructured my board deal with Alien Workshop to be like, give me $5 a board and give me $2,000 a month instead of $2 a board and $5,000 a month. Like
Robin Big, Season 1, Episode 1 launches November 2nd, 2006 and takes off immediately. Each episode premiered to 4 or 5 million viewers. The two unlikely best friends were funny, full of energy, and really just so lovable. When you watched it, you just understood. Rob would come up with the most random ideas for skits, and Big would go along with whatever, like buying a mini horse so their dog has a friend, or starting an R&B group, or trying to time travel. The chemistry and bond created on TV was almost like you were a part of their family. With this big platform now, Rob went from a well-known skateboarder to a full-blown mainstream pop culture celebrity. The shoe deal with DC, he owned a 10% royalty on the Stan Smith style shoe that would end up selling millions of dollars. Rogue status was the...
By the way.
Cheers. Yeah, this is a great whiskey.
Thank you. I don't know where this came from. Who brought this to us?
Trying to remember.
Somebody gave it to us. Old Camp.
Yeah,
whoever it was. Thanks. It's good. Yeah, it is good. This is just inevitable. Again, going back to your when you decided to have this fatalistic viewpoint. So you tried to warn people. You talked about this pretty extensively. I've read several interviews where you talked about this, and then you just sort of just said, "Okay, it just is." Let's just and you, in a way, you're by communicating the potential fear. I mean, for sure, you're getting the warning out to some people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was really going on the warning quite a lot. I was
that same microphone.
Warning everyone I could. You ever met with Obama and just for one reason, like
just
watch
talk
out.
about AI.
Yes.
And what did he say? He said, "What about Hillary? Worry about her first." Shh, everybody be quiet.
No, he listened. He certainly listened. I met with Congress. I met with. I was at a meeting of all 50 governors and talked about just AI danger, and I talked to everyone I could.
The dangers of artificial intelligence.
No one seemed to realize where this was going.
Is it that, or do they just assume that someone smarter than them is already taking care of it? Because when people hear about something like AI, it's almost abstract. It's almost like it's so hard to wrap your head around it. By the time it already happens, it'll be too late.
Yeah, I think they didn't quite understand it, or didn't think it was near term, or not sure what to do about it. And I said, like, an obvious thing to do is to just establish a committee, government committee, to gain insight, before you do oversight, before you do make regulations, just like try to understand what's going on. And then if you have an insight committee, then the once they learn what's going on, get up to speed, then they can make maybe some rules or propose some rules, and that would be probably a safer way to go about things.
It seems, I mean, I know that it's probably something that the government's supposed to handle, but it seems like I don't want the government to handle this.
Who do you want to handle it?
I want you to handle this.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I feel like you're the one who could ring the bell better. Because if Mike Pence starts talking about AI, I'm like, shut up, bitch. You don't know anything about AI. Come on, man.
You know about AI?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but I don't have the power to regulate other companies. What am I supposed to?
Right. But maybe companies could agree. Maybe there could be some sort of a. I mean, we have agreements where you're not supposed to dump toxic waste into the ocean. You're not supposed to do certain things that could be terribly damaging, even though they'd be profitable. Maybe this is one of those things. Maybe we should realize that you can't hit the switch on something that's going to be able to think for itself and make up its own mind as to whether or not it wants to survive or not.